Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I decided if I was going to come to Indiana Tech, I was going to be a different kind of instructor. I was really going to focus on connecting with students, teaching the students the theory that they needed and also the practical applications.
Very practically what that looks like is smaller class sizes. So my class sizes are the 8 to 10 up to maybe 20. And that's backed up with we have 18 hours of office hours every week. I'm sitting in my office waiting for students to come in to talk about anything. It doesn't just have to be with the classroom.
In the College of Engineering, we have ABET accreditation for mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and biomedical engineering. ABET is the top accrediting board for engineering in the United States and probably in the world.
Another thing that is a very different approach at Indiana Tech, I think, that some other universities, is we try and make sure they have a lot of lab experience in the engineering department. All engineering programs are going to have laboratory courses, but in our laboratory courses we try to get them not just exposure to measurements and exposure to some of the devices that you'll be used, but I like to actually assign projects that are, realistic projects.
Those projects, this project-based learning, help students to work together in a group and be hands-on with the material or the product that they're creating. Engineering students at Indiana Tech to me, stand out because I know that they've had a lot of experiences working in groups, working on projects, doing lab experiments to help them understand the material, and I think that prepares them well for industry.
First thing I'll tell a high school student is study, study, study. Get all the math you can possibly get. I honestly believe that the critical thinking skills you learn in math courses will help you with engineering courses.
The type of knowledge base that students should have coming in, they need to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Those two things are really the essence of engineering. Regardless of flavor, they're going to need to figure out there's a problem here, how do I solve it? And they need to think critically about that. They need to observe, listen to people, and then kick in those problem-solving skills to solve the problem.
Part of the growth of Indiana Tech has involved an increasing number of international students. So I think if we can expose students to different ideas, different cultures, again, it makes them that much more competitive in the marketplace.
In the Fort Wayne area, we have lots of large companies, BAE Systems, Fort Wayne Metals, General Motors, Raytheon, Harris Corporation, and the list goes on. We have a lot of employers that want our engineering students.
Indiana Tech, I think, continues to serve students even beyond their graduation. We really strive to keep in touch with our alumni on a personal level just to see how they're doing, but then also they want to give back to the university because of the experiences they've had here, so they want to provide opportunities for other students here as well.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Schaefer Center. This is the WAC Conference Championship in women's basketball, and the broadcast, as always, is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Tonight, it's a matchup between Indiana Tech and Rochester, the Warriors versus the Warriors, in a rematch of last year's WAC Conference Championship game. Indiana Tech was winners of that one as well, trying to repeat by knocking off Rochester again this year. Last year's WAC Conference Championship, Indiana Tech won in a nail-biter. 85-83 was the final score. Not very many nail-biters in the first couple of rounds of this year's WAC tournament, but who knows? Things could be a lot different when this game gets started, which it will in just a few minutes. Rochester comes in with an overall record of 20-10. They are 16-4, and they did just knock off Siena Heights. What's so impressive about that is not only is Siena Heights second place in the WAC conference, but also they are the only team in the WAC conference to beat Indiana Tech so far this year. So that's a huge accomplishment on multiple fronts, Rochester winning that game. They'll look to make an even bigger accomplishment tonight, but Indiana Tech is trying to win a 5th straight WAC Conference tournament title. That's right, they've won 5 straight WAC Conference championship games. Excuse me, they've won 4 straight WAC Conference championship games coming into this year. Last time Indiana Tech failed to win a WAC Conference championship was in 2018, and I believe it was Cornerstone who knocked them off that year. Nope, check that, it was Concordia. I'm sorry, it was Cornerstone. Cornerstone was ranked 6th in the nation at that time, and look who Indiana Tech had to go up against that year. 8th-ranked Madonna, 5th-ranked Concordia Ann Arbor, and 6th-ranked Cornerstone. But today, they're going up against the Warriors of Rochester, trying to win a WAC Conference championship for the 5th year in a row. Jesse Biggs is the head coach at Indiana Tech, has already won 5 WAC Conference regular season titles, trying to make it a 5th straight WAC Conference tournament title against Rochester here in a couple minutes. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll have the national anthem and the announcement of the starting lineups here shortly. You're watching Indiana Tech women's basketball and the WAC Conference Championship. It is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
We're back here at the Schaefer Center, just about ready to get the WAC Conference Championship underway. We'll have the national anthem and the starting lineups first. By the way, we'll have back-to-back WAC Conference Championships. The women play tonight and the men play tomorrow. More on that a little bit later as we get ready for the national anthem and the starting lineups to be announced.
Coach and official in today's contest. Thank you. At this time, we ask that you rise
Indiana Tech and Rochester ready to take the court for this WAC Conference Championship game in women's basketball. Now Rochester, they're coming off a game against Siena Heights. I mentioned they played them in the semifinal. That game started on Saturday, but because of a power outage, it had to be postponed. The remainder of the game had to be postponed till Sunday at 5 p.m., and the game actually went into double overtime. Tip is won initially by the Warriors of Rochester into the hands of Alicia Matos. But the ball is Jakara Thompson. She missed the shot. Putback won't go. That's Sienna Gloucester. Erica Foy had the rebound. Out of bounds. They're going to say that it was off of Indiana Tech. Rochester takes over. They win the opening tip and then get the first possession of the game. And it'll be an extended possession for Rochester. Get into Gloucester. Pull-up jumper. It's good. Alicia Matos, a senior out of Muskegon, Michigan, gets Rochester on the board first, and they've got the early lead. Indiana Tech was the 1 overall seed in the WAC Conference. Rochester, the 3rd seed, had to go on the road to beat Siena Heights in their most recent game as Matos gets to the top of the key. That's a 3 ball. It's too strong, and it's Foy who comes down with the rebound. Erica Foy has been active on the glass so far. She's got 2 rebounds in the game so far, although one of those led to a turnover. As Bethany Worm comes out to set the screen for Covington. Looks like a 2-3 zone, or perhaps a matchup zone here by Rochester. And Indiana Tech so used to forcing teams to run the shot clock down, they're getting a taste of their own medicine here. And Foy's putback misses rim. It doesn't matter. Here come the Warriors of Rochester anyway. That's Alicia Matos. She'll hand it off to Rice. That shot's blocked by Cairo Whitaker. She swats it out of bounds, but it's off of her. Rochester keeps the possession. Matos will put it in play for Rochester. They're out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. A catch-and-shoot 3 for Crystal Rice. Would not fall. That appeared to be off of Rochester. The officials say no. Jessie Biggs immediately pleading her case, and I think she has a good argument there. That appeared to go off of Matos' hands. But as it stands, the ball's going to stay with Rochester. Matos down the baseline. Gets Covington into the air. The basket won't go, but Covington commits the foul. It's Covington's first foul. Comes just 2 minutes into the game. Well, I won't repeat what was just shouted there by the student section, but nonetheless, definitely expressing some displeasure with the call that was made moments ago, giving the ball back to Rochester on the ball out of bounds, as Matos so far has all the points in the game for Rochester, all the points in the game for either team. She goes 1 for 2. That's Bethany Worm who has the rebound. These two teams played in a WAC Conference Championship a year ago. Indiana Tech won in a barn burner, 85-83. Whitaker gets the screen from Foy, and Rochester was all around her. Whitaker can light it up from the outside. Foy gets the feed into Worm. No foul called, and it's taken away. This is Jakara Thompson back down the floor. She'll let Matos take it. Matos is picked up by Covington. Now we've got a foul away from the ball. Is that going to be on Whitaker? Crystal Rice kind of leaned down. I think they're calling it on Worm. Indeed, they do call it on Bethany Worm. Leading scorer coming into this game for Rochester is Crystal Rice. She averages over 11 points per game. 11.4 points per game is her average. That's Matos short on the three. Gloucester has it blocked, and then Foy rips it away. Indiana Tech still off the scoreboard, but not anymore. Erica Foy cashes in. Catch and shoot three. That's Crystal Rice. Couldn't knock it down. Decker's there for the rebound. They get it inside to Foy, who scored in transition just a moment ago. A little bit too strong, but Decker crashing the offensive glass, and she'll get a trip to the free throw line. Sienna Gloucester called for the foul. It's the first team foul against the Rochester Warriors. Like I said in the pregame, it's Warriors versus Warriors. The home-standing Warriors still with a chance to tie the game despite the miss there from Genevieve Decker. Decker, one of the top scorers this season for Indiana Tech. Started the season primarily coming off the bench, and she did so well coming off the bench that as the season has gone along, she has seen a lot more starting minutes. Jessie Biggs has been very impressed with what Decker has done on the court. She can score, she can rebound, she can defend very well. Traveling the call on Crystal Rice. And I believe that was Worm who was guarding her. Kyra Whitaker with the feed on the backdoor cut to Covington, and Covington will get a trip to the line. Covington was named WAC Conference Newcomer of the Year. She's a freshman out of Dublin, Ohio. And she has shot the three at over 40% on the season. In addition to that, she's averaged 10.2 points per game. First free throw doesn't go. Covington not quite as productive from the free throw line. Sure, the percentage is higher. It's 67%. She goes 0 for 2 on that trip. So far, the Warriors as a team, 1 for 4 from the charity stripe. Now Rochester's got a chance to retake the lead. Matos around the screen against a crowd of three and draws a foul. Erica Foy is called for the foul, and Corinne Smith will make an early entry into the game, as will Juliana Burris. Burris was not available in Saturday's game against Cornerstone, but she gets some early minutes. Burris was a starter for the early portion of the season, actually started in the opener against Huntington. An overtime game which the Warriors lost on a last-second three. Rochester will retake the lead courtesy of Alicia Matos. Matos has done all the scoring so far for Rochester. Juliana Burris and Taylor Covington both out of Dublin, Ohio, by the way. Burris is a junior, Covington's a freshman. They both went to Dublin Kaufman. 1 for 2 at the line there goes Matos, and it's Foy who comes down with the board. There's Burris running the point. Burris had it poked away. 10-second clock still a factor. That's double dribble. Imari Martin was the one defending Burris. She had good active hands to knock the ball away and force the mistake by Burris. Backdoor cut, shot won't go. That was Rice, and Foy able to save the rebound. She sets the screen for Burris. Foy lost the ball, and Rochester forces a turnover, looking to add to their lead. Martin drives into the paint. And we got an offensive foul, I do believe. Moving screen against Rochester. They call it on Lauren Wynn. Little full court pressure here from Rochester. Warriors beat it as Decker, it was halfway down. Did somebody put a lid on that bucket? That ball's knocked away by Smith, but recovered by Martin. Loosey-goose dribbling there on the part of Jakara Thompson, but an offensive board and putback for Lauren Wynn. Here comes Smith down the floor. Knocked away. Decker couldn't handle it. Throws it away. Smith's got it. Covington looking for some help. Foy cuts to the basket. Covington trying to slip it to Foy, and it's taken away. That was Lauren Wynn who was fronting Foy the whole way. And Rochester forces a turnover here, coming up on 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. One-on-one, Wynn dishes it outside. The three won't fall. Nobody's hit a three yet in this game. Now, Indiana Tech has some players who are plenty capable of knocking down threes. That's one of them, Taylor Covington. Foy, contact drawn, no foul call, doesn't matter. Genevieve Decker leaving nothing to chance. That's Decker's first made field goal of the game. Brent Wichner, the head coach for Rochester, telling his girls to slow down. Crystal Rice with a jumper. She's off the board so far, and it'll stay that way as Foy wins the contested rebound battle. Foy will set the screen for Whitaker. Step back three. Book it! Cairo Whitaker from downtown. And she's just given the Warriors their first lead of the game. Thompson through the paint. Whistles blow. It's traveling on Rochester. Warriors take over. Perhaps a little confidence boost for these Warriors after Whitaker knocked down that three. She had just 1 3 in the win against Cornerstone back on Saturday. Now, she hit 3 in the first round game, which was against Lourdes. The week prior to that, or the game prior to that, was the regular season finale against Lourdes, and in that game, Whitaker hit 6 threes, but now Juliana Burris stepped out of bounds. Teams traded turnovers those last couple of possessions as we're inside 3 minutes to go. This is Matos. Around the screen goes Chanel King. Miscommunication. Mersheimer went one way, and Matos threw it a different way. That's the student section getting loud again. Well, you're going to hear that all throughout, probably all throughout the state of Indiana the rest of this week, because not only does Indiana Tech have a WAC Conference Championship tonight and tomorrow night, women tonight, men tomorrow, but sectional basketball for boys basketball starts this week. Decker was fouled on the shot, and boy, it looked like she was in some pain after she walked out of that. Might be one of those things that looked worse than it actually was. So Decker will go to the line to shoot a couple of free throws. Decker's 1 for 2 at the line so far in this game. She's able to get the first one as Indiana Tech has scored the last 6 points. This is really the first time they've had any kind of run going in the game so far. But the second free throw's no good. Rice across the timeline. Matos, the feed over to King. Rochester won the opening tip, and it looked for a moment like they might have the momentum. Turnaround jumper, Matos, that didn't hit iron. That's a shot clock violation. It's Covington to bring the ball across the timeline for the Warriors. Immediately into the game is Lauren Barton. Excuse me, that's Bree Dawson, number 24, is trying to get a look at the number. And Dawson is able to put it home. The junior from right here in Fort Wayne, a graduate of Heritage High School. Rice has Covington come out to guard her as we approach the final minute. Rice spinning inside, and she is scoreless no more off that make. Rice averaging 11 points per game on the season coming into play tonight. Dawson sets the screen for Covington. That's off the mark, and there to collect it is Mersheimer. Contested shot on the other end, no good. The putback is good. Melanie Moore with the putback there for Rochester, and they've cut it to a 1-point game. About a 10-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Dawson gets the Warriors a new shot clock. That ball did hit the rim, but Dawson was actually fouled. The only question is, was it on the shot? It will be free throws. And Dawson will shoot a pair here. 27.5 left to go, so shot clock not necessarily a factor here. But Indiana Tech with a chance to add to their lead as Rochester had a little bit of momentum going there last minute and a half or so. And Dawson, that's a nice little shooter's roll there. She goes 2 for 2. Matos across the timeline, and now Rochester can hold for the final shot. The shot clock has been turned off. Right now it's Covington guarding Matos. Melanie Moore waiting to set the screen, and now Moore will set the screen, and there goes Matos. Down to 4 seconds. Had it knocked away. That's Smith. And then Smith is fouled from behind. The foul occurred before the clock ran out. And Indiana Tech should be in the bonus here. I believe that's the 6th-team foul against Rochester. Going to call the foul on Melanie Moore. And the clock has been reset to 0.3 seconds. So Corinne Smith will shoot some free throws to close out the first quarter here. Since there's still time on the clock, the officials are calling the Rochester Warriors players back out there. First one doesn't fall for Smith. Indiana Tech, I don't believe, has had a trip to the line. They've made both their free throws. Smith gets one and adds to the lead. Indiana Tech on top, 14-10, but Rochester giving them a battle. We played one quarter. Second quarter comes your way in a moment on this broadcast of Warrior Basketball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Ready for the start of the second quarter. Indiana Tech on top, 14-10. Rochester started the game off, winning the opening tip, got the first bucket of the game, and since then haven't lost a whole lot of momentum. They had a little run going towards the end of the first quarter, and they got it back down to a one-point game, but Indiana Tech's been able to get a few free throws to stretch the lead out since then, and they'll start with the basketball in the second quarter. Inbound will go to Juliana Burris. Foy feeds it over to Decker. Lob inside to Worm, high off the glass, too strong, and Decker gets fouled on the board. Amari Martin called for the foul. I do believe that's the first time today that Indiana Tech has had a player go 2 for 2 from the line. Matos across the timeline. They get the ball to Melanie Moore. Was at the free throw line. Matos' three won't fall. Whitaker has the board. Whitaker slows down. Not going to take a transition three just yet. She brings it back outside, finds Foy. We don't see Foy shooting from the outside that much. Burris trying to get by the defender. That was Ella Berger who was defending her, and it's a takeaway for Rochester. They go down the floor. Berger, did she travel? She did. Taylor Covington, the freshman and WAC Conference Player of the Year. WAC Conference Newcomer of the Year comes back into the game. Player dribbling the ball right now is the WAC Conference Player of the Year, Kyra Whitaker. She finds Erica Foy. Foy and Whitaker were both first-team All-Conference this year. As Foy goes for the step-back jumper, she hits it. Foy with a little mid-range J. That's the first field goal of the second quarter. Indiana Tech up by 8, their largest lead of the game, out of bounds off of Rochester. Lauren Wynn will re-enter for the Warriors of Rochester. And tomorrow night, Indiana Tech men's basketball will take on Madonna. That's a 1 versus 3 matchup as far as seeding is concerned, but that is also the WAC Conference Championship for men's basketball. Right now, the Warrior women trying to bring home a WAC Conference Championship. They've won 4 straight WAC Conference tournament titles, and their last one was against these Rochester Warriors. 85-83 the final there. Oh, Foy, count the basket, and a foul. Erica Foy showing you some of why she was named WAC Conference first team. First team all conference, that is. And she's able to complete the 3-point play. 7 points for Foy, redshirt senior out of Gas City, Indiana. Pull-up jumper, that's short. Battle for the rebound, it's out of bounds. They're going to say off the hands of Lauren Wynn, and Indiana Tech takes over. Rochester brings some pressure. They find Whitaker on the inbound. Martin went for the takeaway. Whitaker got by her. Covington trying to find Decker on the inside. Apparently it was touched by Rochester. Indiana Tech will keep possession. Boy, there was some contact down there. Whitaker looked like she was running through a combative maze as Bethany Worm knocks down a 3 ball. Jakara Thompson the dish as King gets inside. Wynn, the pull-up jumper, rattles it home. Lauren Wynn, a native of Detroit, Michigan. Loose ball, and that's going to be called double dribble on Covington. She lost possession, tried to regain it. Go back outside to Rice. Wynn turning inside, hits the floater. Had some contact with Decker, but Wynn's able to knock it down. Quick down the floor goes Foy, and the shot rolls right off. Wynn one-on-one against Foy. Double team comes from Worm, and a foul is called. It's going to be on Bethany Worm. Jakara Thompson will re-enter the game. Loose ball, it's out of bounds, and Tech will take over. .6:18 to go in this second quarter. Indiana Tech has stretched the lead out to 14 at one point. It's a back and forth game early on in the first quarter. Warriors led by 4 at the end of that quarter. Now they lead it by 10. Lob to Dawson. With 2 defenders on her, Dawson gets fouled. Jakara Thompson gets called for the foul. And Dawson able to hit the first free throw. She's a native of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Graduate of Heritage High School, as Rochester has the board. That's Crystal Rice. That's Matos, number 2. She gets a screen from Rice. Wynn will let it fly from 3. That's an air ball. Out of bounds off of Rochester. Warriors take over, 5:49 to go. And we're going to get a timeout called by Rochester and their head coach, Brent Wichner. Well, they take a timeout. We'll also take one here on this broadcast of Warrior basketball.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world.
Indiana Tech with an 11-point lead over Rochester, trying to win the WAC Conference Championship for the 5th straight year. Last time they won a WAC Conference Championship, it was against Rochester, as Covington looks for help inside, and it's stolen from behind by Crystal Rice. Rice, the lob across court. Thompson draws the foul. Jakara Thompson, a senior out of Flint, Michigan.
Indiana Tech foul number 3, Taylor Covington was second. In for Indiana Tech, number 2 is going to be Decker. At the line, shooting number 22.
Thompson comes into this game as the second leading scorer for Rochester. She averages 10.5 per game. She'll go 2 for 2 here. Quinn Smith, one of those players who gets a lot of minutes off the bench. They were looking for her on the inside. Now Decker will get it out to Whitaker. Whitaker with 1 3 so far in the game. She's capable of knocking down a lot of them. Decker sets the screen. Whitaker, the running jumper, in and out. Decker pulls it down and puts it back. Matos looking for the blow-by down the baseline. She found Wynn. Wynn's shot wouldn't fall. Decker has the board. Decker will let Whitaker take it. Whitaker uses the screen. Able to get it inside, but it's knocked away by Crystal Rice. Rice racing down the floor. Gets it back over to Thompson. Thompson for 3. Yes! Well, Rochester looking to get some momentum going. They'll get a takeaway here. Pass went long, but Sanaya Gregory missed the shot, and Indiana Tech able to dodge a bullet there. But for a moment, like Whitaker had space, then she bobbled the ball, knocked away by Gregory, and recovered by Rice. And now Rochester comes up with back-to-back turnovers. They were not able to cash in on the last one. Step back 3, Rice missed that one. And it's rebounded by Lauren Barton. Lauren Barton and Bree Dawson both getting some minutes early in this one in the WAC championship game. Whitaker, the step back, that's a 2 if it goes. It does. And now Jesse Biggs wants a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take one right along with him here on this broadcast of Warrior basketball.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything.
Indiana Tech with the 10-point lead, trying to win a WAC Conference championship against Rochester in a rematch of last year's WAC Conference championship. Indiana Tech won that one 85-83. This is Melanie Moore on the inside, and she's able to drop it home. Melanie Moore, the freshman out of Warren, Michigan. That's taken away. Jakara Thompson on the run out, and she scores. And all of a sudden, it's a 2-score game as Thompson comes up with a huge steal. She jumps right in front of the pass as Smith tries to go against Rice. No foul call, and now we will get a foul. Question is, who's it on? Looks like it's on Indiana Tech. Genevieve Decker going to be called for the foul. Officials are going to have a little discussion here. Lob to Moore. Matos dishes it outside, knocked away by Decker. She gets to it in time. 3-on-2, Decker is fouled. It was 3-on-2, but Decker had 2 defenders right in front of her. And a tough pass across court. Looked like she had Smith on the other side of the court. But Decker will go to the free throw line here, trying to slow down this run that Rochester's put together lately. A mini run, you might say. Rochester scored the last 4 points. That was ever since Kyra Whitaker hit that long 2. Amari Martin will check in for Rochester. Decker unable to connect on the first try. She goes 0 for 2 on that trip to the line. That's Burris who's defending Matos. Thompson looking for Rice. Rice bobbled it at first, but got it back. Driving through traffic, and she's fouled by Corinne Smith. Minute 23 to go, and now Crystal Rice has a chance to continue to cut into this deficit. Rochester scored the last 4 points in the game. To make it a 5-0 run. Rice goes 2 for 2. Tech had a 4-point lead at halftime. They started to pull away early. 4-point lead at the end of the first quarter, I beg your pardon. Oh, there was a lot of contact there, and not a foul was called. Thompson, little Euro step, count the basket and a foul, and Rochester is within one score, and they can get within 1 point. Jakara Thompson with 9 points in the game so far. She comes into this game as the second leading scorer for Rochester. She averages over 10 points per game, and she's got a chance to get to 10. She'll do that if she makes this next free throw. She does. Lauren Barton into the game for the Warriors. 1:12 left to play. A lead that was once, I believe, at 14 is now down to just 1. Foy will find Whitaker on the inbound. And Whitaker will get the ball across the timeline. She'll find Barton. Foy has it knocked away, but a foul is called. Brent Wichner clearly displeased with that call. It will send Foy to the free throw line. Wichner's going to get a couple of his subs in off the bench. Dakota Crone, who is from nearby Harlan, Indiana, a graduate of Woodland High School. Woodland was a top seed in their sectional this year. However, they ended up losing the championship game to Garrett. As Erica Foy hits the first free throw, a much-needed shot there for Indiana Tech as they try to end this half on a positive note. Foy goes 2 for 2 from the line. Woodland boys basketball team is number 1 in their sectional too. They're playing at Garrett. They'll start playing over there this coming Wednesday. I believe they're set to play Heritage. We got a foul here against Rochester, or against Indiana Tech rather. Juliana Burris called for the foul, and that will send Jakara Thompson to the line. Thompson goes 2 for 2. Whitaker comes across the timeline and finds Burris. That's a contested 3 by Whitaker, and she hits it. A much-needed 3. Cairo Whitaker got her whole team up off the scores, or off the bench. Second 3 of the game for Whitaker. She had 3 in the first round game against Lourdes, 6 in the regular season finale, also against Lourdes. I believe she only had 1 3 against Cornerstone, but Whitaker has 2 threes in this championship game. There's about a 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Matos feeds off to Thompson, and they're not going to get it off. Rochester commits a shot clock violation, and I don't think they even saw the clock. Well, depending on where you went to high school, that can be a big difference between the college game and the high school game. Whitaker trying to close it out with a half-court 3 there, but one big difference, of course, between the high school game and the college game, at least in some states, is college game, you've got the shot clock. In the high school game, you don't always. Here in Indiana, they don't have it, and I don't believe they have it over in Ohio either. Not sure about Michigan. But either way, 34-30 is the score. Indiana Tech on top at halftime. Rochester made it a close game on a couple different occasions. They were down 4 at the end of the first quarter. They're down 4 again here at the end of the first half. And we'll be right back in just a matter of moments. You're watching the WAC Conference Women's Basketball Championship. It's brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Hi, I'm Paxton, and I'll be your tour guide today. Behind me, we have Pearson Hall. This is one of our freshman dorms on campus. Today, I'll be showing you dorm rooms. Come inside. The only way to get into campus is if you have an ID card, so you'll have to swipe into all the dorms. And then over here, we have an intercom system. So through every dorm, we have these dial buttons within the dorm rooms and then outside. So say you're visiting somebody, you don't live here, you would dial their room number, and then you can actually call their room, and they can unlock the doors to the dorm through the intercom system, and you can talk to them. They can see you through a camera, and they can unlock the doors for you so they don't have to leave the room. It's really nice to have. So right here we just have our main lobby. Every floor has a lobby. In the lobbies we just have TVs and stuff. You can watch movies, play video games. You can hang out with friends, do homework, play card games. It's just a nice little hangout area to have. And then right here, this is what we call our RA office. So every single night there will be an RA in the office. They're just there for your needs if you have any issues with toilets or sinks or anything being clogged. They'll always be in there for your help. If you have questions about anything, you can always come see an RA here. And then over here, we have mailboxes. Every student has a mailbox. They are really small. The only thing they can fit is card-sized items. Throughout campus, you'll see our mail room when you go on your actual tour later on, and that will be in one of our other buildings where you'll receive bigger packages. All right, so here's the laundry room. So in the laundry room, you don't have to save quarters or use quarters. I know it says 25 cents, but it is included with living on campus. And then there's one on every floor and every side of the floor, so there's 2 on every floor in Pearson. So every student has keys to their dorm. And then as you come, you will see our intercom system right here that I talked about in the entranceway. So this is where you would unlock the door for visitors, talk to them. And then one really nice thing about it is there is a security guard button right there. So if you were to have somebody calling your room constantly at 5 o'clock in the morning because some student forgot their keys, you could actually press the security guard button and it will lock them in that little box that we entered into the dorm. It'll lock both the outside doors and the inside doors and call security. So it also has a nice safety measure within your room. You don't even have to leave your room for that. So that's really nice. And then as we enter in this way, you'll see this is the half of our room looks like. So there's this, and then on the other side of the suite, there's a mirrored room that looks exactly like this. The desk, the dressers, and the closets, and all of the drawers and stuff all come with. You can decorate it any way you'd like, and then mini fridges, TVs, anything like that you would bring here. And then through here we have our bathroom. So then as we come into the bathroom, you'll see that this side of the room has their own sink and toilet, and then as you come through, there's one shower shared between the 2 rooms, and then this side of the room has their own sink and toilet, and then there's the mirrored room right here. So then they share a little common space out there, and then this is the exact same stuff, and it's all the same. Here we have CalFlush. This is our other freshman dorm on campus. It is across the street from main campus. We'll be showing another freshman dorm, the laundry room, and then the hangout lobby area. Come on in. So same thing as Pearson. To get into the dorms, you have to have a swipe card that unlocks and lets you in. All right, and then we have the same intercom system as we do in Pearson, and it runs throughout all of the dorms. And then in here is the lobby area where all the students hang out. We have a TV so people can hook up Xboxes or anything like that, DVD players, you can watch movies. I know RAs put on a bunch of activities down here. They do movie nights with hot chocolate during the winter. We've done pumpkin carving, and we watch a Halloween movie, and so that's all done down here. And then it's the same thing over here. You can do some studying, you can hang out with friends, you can eat dinner if you want, and like I said, you can hang out with your RA, hang out with your friends, do homework, but follow me to the next part. So same thing as Pearson, every student has keys to their dorm. So when you first walk in, it's different than Pearson where there's no 2 mirrored room. It's just one room with 2 students. The shelves, the desk, the drawers, all of the beds and stuff all come with. And then over here, it's the same for Pearson and CalFlush. You can control the air condition and the heat for the room, not the entire dorm, which is so nice because then it's between you and your roommate, not through hundreds of people in one building. And then as we walk over here, you'll see that the sink is outside of the bathroom, which is so nice because obviously if your roommate's showering, you don't have to worry about not being able to brush your teeth or even use the sink or get a drink of water or anything like that. And then as we walk over here, you'll see only 2 roommates to 1 bathroom. And then the shelving space. And then instead of Pearson where they have closets, you would have this whole shelving space and hanger area. And then same thing as Pearson, we have the intercom system over here where you can press the security guard button, you can talk to them, and then see them through the camera. CalFlush also has mailboxes. They're the same size. They fit card-sized items. And again, if you have any bigger packages, we do have a mailroom on campus. So then through here, this is the laundry room. The difference between Pearson and CalFlush is CalFlush, there's only one in the whole building and it's on the first floor, whereas Pearson has them on every floor. But it is the same as they are included with living here, so you don't have to use quarters. It's free to the students. And that concludes the tour. Thanks for coming with. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to your counselor. Hope to see you around campus. Go Warriors!
Welcome back to the Schaefer Center. It's a 4-point lead for Indiana Tech. Now, they did have a 14-point lead at one point in the second quarter, but Rochester has really played some stingy defense and gotten after it on that side of the ball. Forced a couple of turnovers. In fact, Jakara Thompson had a steal and score late in the first half to aid in Rochester's run to make this a close game. They've got it down to 4. Whitaker did hit a big 3 late in the half as well. She's got 2 threes in the game. So I recall Whitaker had just 1 3 against Cornerstone in the conference semifinals on Saturday, but she's got 2 threes in this game, and we know she can light it up from beyond the arc. She did it in the regular season finale against Lourdes, where she hit 6 threes in that game alone. Here's a look at our first half statistics for you. Leading scorer for Rochester is Jakara Thompson. She's got 12 points. Lauren Wynn came off the bench and gave him 6 points. Alicia Matos, Crystal Rice, and Melanie Moore all had 4 points apiece. In the rebounding department, Rochester has snagged a grand total of 15 rebounds in the game, 4 of those on the offensive side. For Indiana Tech, they are led in scoring so far by Erica Foy. She's got 9 points. Genevieve Decker has 8. Kyra Whitaker has 8. Like I said, she's hit 2 threes in this game. Lauren Barton has 5. Bethany Worm has 3. Corinne Smith has 1. Taylor Covington scoreless so far in the game. Now, Indiana Tech has led the way in the rebounding department in this game so far. They've got 20 rebounds, 6 on the offensive side, so they're winning the battle on the boards. However, Rochester has kept it close, down to just a 4-point game at this point. At the free throw line, a couple of Indiana Tech's players have shot it well from behind the stripe. Lauren Barton's 3 for 4, Erica Foy's 3 for 3. Corinne Smith is 1 for 2. However, Taylor Covington has only been to the line once. She's 0 for 2. Genevieve Decker is 4 for 8 from the charity stripe. So Indiana Tech will likely look for better free throw shooting. And one of the areas of concern coming out of the semifinal on Saturday, and Jessie Biggs addressed this during breaks with her athletes, is the offensive rebounding. Cornerstone was getting a lot of offensive rebounds late in that game, and Jessie Biggs was trying to get her players to secure the basketball when they had chances to do so. We got about 5 minutes before the second half gets underway. We'll be right back after this break. You're watching the WAC Conference Championship. The broadcast is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
Indiana Tech trying to take home a WAC Conference Championship. They do have the lead, but Rochester has come to play, and it's worth noting the two regular season games between these two teams were not all that close. Indiana Tech hosted Rochester on February 8th, the Wednesday night. They won that one 69-45. They went on the road to play Rochester on December 10th and won that one 86-66. That was part of, I believe, a 6-game road trip for the Warriors, which included some conference games against Rochester, UNOH, Michigan Dearborn, and also some non-conference games against IU Northwest and St. Francis right here in Fort Wayne. Now, Indiana Tech was able to beat their crosstown rivals that day, but right now they're trying to capture a WAC Conference tournament title. They've captured the regular season title. Jessie Biggs has done that 5 times in her career. But one more half to play. Can the Warriors hold off Rochester? Warriors have been able to win the battle on the boards. They've got 20 rebounds to 16 for Rochester so far, and we're back after this break. You're watching Warrior Basketball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Good luck, Tammy.
See you, David.
Things happen. How do you make the unexpected happen? Take the next step with an online degree from Indiana Tech. Start with a visit to one of our 2 new Chicago area enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette. You'll discover a wide range of affordable undergraduate and graduate degrees with flexible class schedules designed to fit your lifestyle and help you earn a degree sooner than you'd expect. Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
Indiana Tech with a 34-30 lead over Rochester, trying to capture a WAC Conference Championship. 2 more quarters left to go. Indiana Tech defeated Rochester in last year's WAC Conference Championship. That was a barn burner, 85-83, and this one's shaping up to be just the same thing. Now, Indiana Tech will play host to the first 2 rounds of the NAIA tournament. Those are scheduled for March 7th and March 8th. March 7th is a week from tomorrow, and March 8th is a week from Wednesday. But right now, the Warriors trying to take care of business in the WAC Conference Championship. They're trying to do it against the Rochester Warriors. High screen set by Moore, and that's Jakara Thompson who hits the jumper. Thompson was instrumental in the comeback effort in the first half for Rochester. She's up to 14 points for the game. Decker going for the backdoor cut, and that's Thompson who's tasked with guarding her. Covington into the paint. Out to Whitaker. Whitaker uses the screen from Foy, keeps control for the moment, goes for the hook shot and hits with the shot clock down to 1. Well, Decker's already in double figures for this game. She's the first Indiana Tech Warrior to get there, and for a second there I thought Indiana Tech might be going to a 2-3 zone, but they're in the man-to-man. That's going to be an offensive foul on Rochester. Melanie Moore called for the foul. Long pass to Whitaker. She's going to let it fly and hits a three. Very little hesitation there from Whitaker. It's her third three of the ball game. She's got 5 straight points to start off the Tech scoring in this half. Calling for it is Moore. She's fronted by Foy. Now they get it to her. Foy staying between her and the basket. Basket won't go. Good defense there by Erica Foy, and that's exactly what you're taught to do. Stay between your opponent and the basket. Do not give them a clear path, and Erica Foy did not. Whitaker has space, but could not hit that time. Moore got fouled. They're going to call it on Decker. Jessie Biggs is she's beside herself. Almost mixed up my analogies there. The analogy I was about to use is one that I don't think anyone has ever used, but it's 8:12 to go in this third quarter. Matos finds Thompson. Looking for the feed down low. Moore has Foy on her again. Driving to the basket is Rice with the left hand. Missed the shot, but she's fouled. And it's Bethany Worm who commits it. Jessie Biggs lobbying that Worm was straight up. That's not what the call is. It goes as the third foul on Worm, and Juliana Burris will take her place. Crystal Rice held to a low total there in the first half. She's got 6 points for the game. And she misses the first free throw. Well, Indiana Tech saw some free throws come up short, or in some cases bounce out. Rice is able to get one to go. It's Burris across the timeline. She finds Covington. Whitaker slows down. Foy gets to the block, has to swing it outside to Smith. Smith able to find Whitaker. Covington for three. Oh, there was a lot of contact there. No foul. That is surprising. Back down the floor comes Thompson, and Thompson's shot won't fall. Foy has the board. Back out to Burris. Covington was definitely contacted on the previous possession. That shot comes up short. Celeste Mersheimer has the rebound for Rochester. Thompson down the floor, puts it home. That's 16 for Jakara Thompson. It's a 4-point game as Covington gets around the screen. Looking for Foy on the inside, passes a little bit too high. And Foy a little frustrated that she couldn't come up with that catch. A hard-fought game, much like it was last year in the WAC Conference Championship. Indiana Tech won that game It was a final score of 85-83. Thompson tries to slip it inside. Foy takes it away. Here comes Covington the other way. She'll slow things down in transition. Foy has Whitaker, and Whitaker was the one who got fouled. They're going to call it on Celeste Mersheimer. Transfer from Ohio Dominican University. Some subs will come in. Sienna Gloucester and Amari Martin will enter the game for Rochester. Covington finds Burris on the inbound. Oh, that's knocked away. Matos with a takeaway. Whitaker backed up on her, and Matos count the basket and one. Well, Dory Javins is going to enter the game with 6:18 to go in the third quarter. And we've seen Dory Javins come in off the bench a number of times this year, although it's usually in the fourth quarter. Alicia Matos with a chance at a three-point play, but she doesn't get it. Indiana Tech had 5 straight points very early in this quarter, all from Kyra Whitaker. But since then, Rochester's been able to crawl back into it. Javins down the baseline. Had Foy calling for it, and Javins called for traveling. And Rochester's got a chance to tie the game. High catch, it's Gloucester. Matos has it knocked away by Foy. She threw it right to her. Foy has Javins on the other end. Foy will take it. No good. Rice coming the other way. Drives to the basket. It rolls right off. Blocked from behind. And did Whitaker step out of bounds? She was trying to throw it off of Gloucester. They're going to say it was off of Whitaker, that she stepped out with the ball. The officials are going to discuss this, and they're going to stick with the original call. Rochester ball, as the call was that Whitaker stepped out of bounds with the ball. And well, now Smith heading to the sideline. I wonder if the officials spotted that she was bleeding. Looks like that's the case. They're going to give her some gauze. Some gauze on her leg. And it looks like Smith's going to be allowed to come back into the game as soon as she's wrapped up. Well, we're going to take a quick timeout. You're watching the WAC Conference Championship. Oh, check that. Smith on her way back. .5:24 left to go in this third quarter. They get it into Rice. She fakes the three. Whitaker comes out to guard her. Rice on the drive, blocked, but Whitaker's called for a foul. Looked like she was straight up. That's what she's lobbying. But the lobby will be ineffective. Crystal Rice will go to the free throw line. A chance to at least make this a 1-point game. Indiana Tech had a 14-point lead in the second quarter. And indeed, it is a 1-point game. Rice with a rather low-scoring night. She's up to 6 points with that free throw. She went 1 for 2 on her last trip to the line. Meanwhile, that's the 4th team foul against Indiana Tech this third quarter. Rice goes 2 for 2, and the game is tied. Whitaker's double team. She finds Covington. Covington had some teammates out on the wing, and Jessie Biggs is going to call a timeout. 30-second timeout. We're going to take one right along with them here on this broadcast of Warrior Basketball.
Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Good luck, Tammy.
See you, David.
Things happen. How do you make
5:10 to go here in this third quarter. Indiana Tech and Rochester battling for a WAC Conference championship. It's a rematch of last year's WAC Conference championship. Indiana Tech won that 85-83. Now who knows if this game will be as high scoring as that one was. 3 quarters in, we haven't even reached 40 points for either team. But could have a fun finish as that ball gets away. Amari Martin, one-on-one for the lead. Count it. Rochester goes on top. Amari Martin taking advantage of the turnover. Now, Kyra Whitaker, she's got 3 threes in the ball game. 13 points total. Was going for a backdoor cut there. 4 swings it out to Covington. That one's knocked out of bounds. Gloucester got out in front of it, but could not secure the ball. Covington will put the ball in play. She finds Whitaker. That was a tough catch. Rice guarding her. Shot clock down to 5. Foy got to put it up, and she hits. Erica Foy with a shot clock draining. Foy's got 11 points, and she is the second leading scorer for Indiana Tech in this game. Kyra Whitaker, the leading scorer. She comes into this game as the leading scorer. Matos feeds that one over to Rice. Rice driving against Whitaker, left it short, and Foy is there for the board. Covington finds Whitaker. She fires a contested 3. No trouble at all. It is a 3, and it's her 4th of the game. Kyra Whitaker with 16 points to lead all Warrior scorers, all Indiana Tech Warrior scorers, that is, as Matos, a defender's switch on her. Shot clock down to 7. It's out of bounds. Oh, my goodness. That looked like it went off of Gloucester. It's ruled as Rochester ball, but it sure looked as though it went off of Gloucester. There is 7 seconds on the shot clock. Inbound goes to Rice. Rice with a timer down to 4, couldn't hit. Whitaker through traffic, sees just enough of a lane, and she'll go to the line. She had 4 defenders around her, but for just a moment, an open lane parted like the Red Sea. And Whitaker will go to the line. Crystal Rice is called for the foul. Whitaker adds to her impressive night. She had just hit her 4th 3 of the game on the last possession. And she's up to 18 points for this game. I believe that's Whitaker's first trip to the free throw line, if I'm not mistaken, but she makes the most of it. Right now she's guarding Matos. Matos gets by her. Good help side defense, maybe a little too good. At least according to the official, Erica Foy thought she was straight up. I thought she was straight up and got a clean block. But it is going to go as a shooting foul, and Matos will go to the line. Matos able to connect on her first free throw. She's a senior guard out of Muskegon, Michigan, transferred in from Muskegon Community College. And Matos goes 2 for 2. Long pass down the floor to Javins, and Javins gets fouled. And now Crystal Rice. Well, she's either surprised by the call or was hurting there. At first I thought she was running off in disbelief. Then I wasn't sure if maybe she was holding her nose because she was bleeding. It may be the latter. Or maybe not. She was right next to the official, and they're not going to stop play, at least not necessarily. Not going to delay these free throws, at least. They do get a sub in for Rice, though. Dory Javins at the free throw line. She's from right here in Fort Wayne. She went to Bishop Luers. We're probably about a 10-minute drive or so away from Bishop Luers. It's further south than Southside, I'll say that much. Javins goes 2 for 2, little friendly roll. And much like last year's championship game, this has been a barn burner. Indiana Tech with the lead. They've led most of the way, but Rochester has not backed down. They might have the theme song in the style of Tom Petty as Taylor Covington comes down the floor, finds Foy. And Foy took a couple of steps there, it looked like, and that is the call. She traveled. 2:48 to go in the third quarter. And here is Matos coming back down the floor for Rochester. Rochester had 2 screeners there. Covington was able to get around both of them. We're going to have a foul. Looks like an offensive foul against Rochester, and it is. Imari Martin called for the foul. That's her third. Comes with 2.5 to play. Foy will put it into Whitaker. Foy has Dawson posting up down low, or is that Barton? Lauren Barton, she's number 34. Bree Dawson's number 24. Whitaker with a long three. She was fouled on it. That was from way downtown. And Amari Martin commits her 4th foul. And Kyra Whitaker will go to the line to shoot 3 free throws. Might say she shot that one from Huntington. Huntington's probably about 25 minutes south of where we are, or 25 minutes west, I guess. Southwest, you might say. You have to go past Homestead High School from here to get there. But Whitaker true on her first free throw. Warriors have had their struggles from the free throw line. At least in the first half they did. But so far so good for Kyra Whitaker on this trip. Oh, that one rolls right out. Well, now's probably a good time to mention this. That was the first miss this half for Indiana Tech. Driving to the basket is Thompson. Couldn't finish, but she's fouled. It's on Erica Foy, and that's her third. Well, the foul's starting to pile up for both teams. We've already seen Amari Martin commit her 4th on the Rochester side. She's one away from fouling out. This is shaping up to be a fun finish. Yes, it's a 7-point lead, make it 6. Rochester has battled with Indiana Tech throughout this ballgame. Thompson goes 2 for 2. Well, Erica Foy will come to the bench. I believe Corinne Smith was the one who checked in to take her place. Meanwhile, it is Lauren Barton who's on the court. Bree Dawson's on the bench. Whitaker trying to get ahead of the pack. She'll bring it back around. Still a lot of time in that shot clock. Covington, rather quiet night so far. She'll hand it off to Whitaker. Whitaker not so quiet. She's hit 4 threes. She's got 20 points. High pass. Javens makes a tough catch. Gets it over to Whitaker. Shot clock at 4. And a foul called before the shot. That's going to give Indiana Tech some extra time on the shot clock. In fact, it's going to put them at the line for the bonus. It's the 15th foul on Rochester. Kyra Whitaker going right back there. She starts off this trip on a high note. Two for 2 goes Whitaker. 22 points for the game for Kyra. And here's Matos across the timeline. She gets a screen from Gloucester. Covington trying to stay on her, but Matos beats her to the bucket. Whitaker back down the floor for Indiana Tech. Barton setting the screen. Whitaker wanted the step back. Instead finds Covington. Whitaker, step back jumper, not that time, and that ball's going out of bounds. That was a wise decision there by Jakara Thompson. Well, Olivia Bussell will come into the game for Rochester. I believe this is the first time she's been in the game. She's a freshman out of Monroe, Michigan. Gloucester sets the screen. Here's Thompson, gets into the paint, puts up the floater, and it's good. Jakara Thompson has made it a 3-point game, and Thompson's got 20 points. There's about a 5-second differential, make that a 6-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Indiana Tech can use up a lot of time here, maybe work the clock down to 8 or 7 seconds before they take the shot. Jesse and Kylene Biggs both directing players where to go. Down to 4 seconds. Whitaker inside. Barton draws the foul with 2 on the timer. Olivia Bussell, who just checked into the game for the first time, is tagged with that foul. Well, Barton off to a good start on this trip to the line. .8 to play. Barton goes 2 for 2. Clock down to 3. Matos down to 1. She gets it off, and it's no good. It gets stuck in between the rim and the backboard. Well, Indiana Tech with the lead, battling with Rochester, but they're on top, 54-49 as we go to the fourth quarter. You're watching the WAC Conference Championship on SummitCitySports.com and Indiana Tech Warrior Basketball.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
Indiana Tech has a 5-point lead as we have gone to the fourth quarter. Warriors, much like last year, trying to take down Rochester in the WAC Conference Championship game. Last year's game was a barn burner, and so far that's what this game has been. The second quarter, it looked like Indiana Tech might pull away. There's a nice backdoor cut by Decker, and Decker's able to finish. Seemed like Decker was quiet most of that third quarter, but she gets her first bucket of the second half. Rice through the paint, left it short. Foy's got the rebound. Covington down the floor finds Decker. Worm goes back outside to Covington. Decker will hand that one off to Foy. Down to 7 on the shot clock. The lob to Foy, makes a tough catch. Off the glass, oh, it rolls right off. That was a good look for Foy, but she could not finish. That's blocked. Out beyond the arc by Decker. Thompson recovers. Missed this putback shot, and it's tapped back to Foy. Foy quick down the floor. She's going to attack the basket. Offensive foul. Alicia Matos draws the charge, and for Foy, that is her fourth foul of the game. Matos will come across the timeline. She's picked up by Taylor Covington. Melanie Moore calling for it down on the block. She switches sides. Worm remains on her. The shot no good. Moore gets her own rebound and puts it back. Low-scoring night so far for Moore. Worm looking for Decker. She finds her. Covington for three. In and out. Swatted back out. And Smith has the rebound. Second chance for Indiana Tech, but Decker could not connect. Moore came up with it. Outside to Thompson. Had some trouble with it at first. Decker comes out to contest the three. The putback will not go, but then there's a foul. Is it on Rochester? It looks like it's on. Signal is number 3, Mersheimer. And yep, that's Mersheimer who's called for the foul. That's her fourth. I believe it's Alicia Matos who also has 4 fouls in the game for the Warriors. Olivia Bussell will come back in. Also, Erica Foy for Indiana Tech has 4 fouls. She's on the bench. Corinne Smith has come into the game. Whitaker finds Decker. Baseline drive, Worm. Contested shot, but she's fouled. With 11 on the timer. Melanie Moore is called for the foul, and Bethany Worm will go to the line to shoot 2. That's Moore's 3rd foul of the game. It's that stage of the game where fouls start to pile up. Bethany Worm out of Westerville, Ohio. That's something that she shares in common with Amari Martin. Martin is also out of Westerville. She went to Westerville North. Worm also went to Westerville North. But she went 1 for 2 at the line on that last trip. Thompson has Decker guarding her, looking for Rice on the screen and roll, and Rice wave it off. It's an offensive foul. At least that looked like the call. And it is an offensive foul. Crystal Rice tagged with it, and that's her fourth. Brent Wichner is livid about that call. Well, Kyra Whitaker had a huge third quarter, a quarter in which she scored 12 points. That's going to be a foul called on Olivia Bussell. Well, Bussell was brought in the game as some of her teammates were starting to get into foul trouble. That's Bussell's second foul. Sienna Gloucester comes in. She'll take the place of Rice. Mari Martin will also check in. Here's Covington. Worm was thinking about it. They'll get it to Whitaker. She fires a three. It's too strong. Swatted back out. Covington has it. Whitaker's hit 4 threes in this game. She has had the hot hand, especially from beyond the arc. She's only one of 2 Warriors to make a three in this game, if I'm not mistaken, the other being Bethany Worm. Meanwhile, we've got a foul against Rochester. And that's on Olivia Bussell. Bussell did not come into this game until the third quarter, and now she's committed her third foul. Rochester's got a number of players getting into foul trouble lately. Now Indiana Tech has some players in foul trouble of their own. Corinne Smith at the line here. Oh, couldn't get it to fall. Corinne Smith's got only 1 make from the free throw line tonight. And it'll stay that way. 6-point game. The door is open for Rochester to come back. Indiana Tech trying to hold them off. Had a 2-point win against them in the championship last year. Martin, tough shot, no good. And it's Worm who rebounds for the Warriors. Here's Whitaker. Decker sets the screen for Whitaker. Whitaker gets it to her, missed the shot. Smith tried to keep it alive, but back come the Warriors of Rochester. Trailing, meanwhile, is Smith, and a foul is called. Looks like it's going to be on Bethany Worm. Excuse me, that's Taylor Covington. Oh, they do call it on Bethany Worm, and that's her fourth. Lauren Barton is waiting to check into the game, and she will take the place of Worm. Alicia Matos at the free throw line to try and cut into this deficit. 5:51 left to go in regulation. Rochester had to go through all kinds of what you might call interesting situations in their tournament semifinal against Siena Heights. The game was suspended after it started because of a power outage at Siena Heights. They had to finish the rest of the game yesterday, and the game went into double overtime. I tell you what, Rochester's got to be running on fumes after playing double overtime in a game that had to span 2 days, but they're keeping up with Indiana Tech, no doubt about that. 57-53. Indiana Tech has been good on the defensive end so far this fourth quarter. Well, with 5:51 to go, they'll look to clamp down and finish the deal. Got a lot of big threes from Kyra Whitaker. First 3 quarters, she's hit 4 threes in the game. Whitaker, I believe, has been scoreless so far in the fourth quarter. Genevieve Decker came up with a huge bucket, and we are starting to see players get into foul trouble on a more consistent basis. Erica Foy moments ago committed her 4th personal foul. Bethany Worm also committed her 4th foul. Genevieve Decker, by the way, has 3. She's in danger of getting that 4th one. On the Rochester side, they've got 3 players who have 4 fouls apiece. Crystal Rice, Amari Martin, and Celeste Mersheimer all have 4. Olivia Bussell has 3, and Melanie Moore also has 3. .551 left to go. Smith trying to get it in. She finds Covington. Covington's double team. Covington down the floor, has it stolen away. It's Bussell with the takeaway. Thompson backs it out. Gloucester posting up down low. That's a 3 ball by Thompson. Barton had the board, and Whitaker secures it. Covington looking for Decker, and she throws it off the leg of Jakara Thompson to preserve the possession for Indiana Tech. 5:16 left to go. The Warriors trying to hold on to a 4-point lead. Whitaker has Matos Gardner. She'll bring it back outside, not in a hurry here. The shot clock is now down to 8. Is Whitaker trying to size up her shot? She's running out of time. Flips it over to Smith. She's got to get it off with 1 on the timer. And that's an air ball. Doesn't matter. It's out of bounds. Well, you understand Indiana Tech trying to take some time off the clock, but obviously with over 5 minutes left, Indiana Tech is looking to score the basketball, and they were unable to there. Matos gets a screen from Gloucester. Matos drives, finds Mersheimer. Floater, Martin off the glass. 2-point game, Amari Martin making it happen. Sophomore out of Westerville, Ohio. Smith will hand that one off to Covington. Here's Whitaker. Whitaker's had a great game, 22 points. Right now, Covington looking for some help. Shot clock winding down toward 10 again. And a foul is called on Rochester. Sienna Gloucester called for the foul. That's her 3rd, and another Rochester Warrior ends up in foul trouble. And speaking of foul trouble, Bethany Worm, who's committed 4 fouls, has just come back into the game, and Erica Foy remains at the scorer's table. She's also got 4 fouls. 4:12 to play in regulation. Lauren Barton heading to the free throw line. She's true on the first one. She goes 1 for 2 there. The ball's knocked out of bounds off of Rochester. Decker tapped it oh so lightly, and the ball just ricocheted off one of the Warriors. The Rochester Warriors, that is. They get it into Foy. Contested shot, no good. Across the timeline comes Thompson. They've got wind down low. She gets it back out to Martin. Martin trying to keep the ball alive, finds Thompson. Wynn sets the screen for Thompson. Thompson working her way back outside. Martin going for the blow-by, puts it home with 4 on the timer. That one's behind Whitaker and out of bounds, and Mersheimer is fired up after that turnover. Rochester can take the lead with 3:31 to go. It's Matos who gets the inbound, and Covington will guard her this time. And now Brent Witchner wants a timeout. Seems like he hasn't used many of those. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We, however, will stay with you. This broadcast is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world.
We are coming down to the wire here at the Schaefer Center. Indiana Tech clinging to a 1-point lead. It's Matos who gets the inbound. Martin down the baseline. The reverse. Got it to give Rochester the lead. First lead of the fourth quarter for Rochester. That ball's poked in the air. It's off of Rochester. Indiana Tech will keep possession. 3:04 to go. Sienna Gloucester will check in for Rochester. Covington will look to put it in play. Remind you that the Indiana Tech men's basketball team takes the floor tomorrow night against Madonna for their WAC Conference Championship. But right now the women still trying to secure a championship of their own. Foy with the jumper, too strong. Right to Jakara Thompson. That's Alicia Matos coming across the timeline. Pull-up jumper, Thompson short. Gloucester the offensive board. Poke toward the backcourt, and then Covington's called for the foul. That might have been Covington's first. Nope, it's her third. I beg your pardon. Not on any kind of shot. It's only the third team foul, so Rochester will have the ball, and Rochester a chance to hold the ball for a little bit before they have to shoot. Obviously, they can't drain out the whole clock. That's what happens when you have a shot clock, and that shot clock's now down to 6. Matos fakes. Down to 2. Wynn gets it off. Rolls right off the rim, and Worm has the board for Indiana Tech. Warriors still with a chance as we approach the 2-minute mark. Looks like a 2-3 zone here for Rochester. Worm backing down. Off the glass, got it. Bethany Worm to give the Warriors the lead. Thompson through traffic. Whitaker got a hand in there. Step back three, Matos off the mark. Battle for the board, and it's Worm who comes up with it. And Whitaker will walk it across the timeline. .82 seconds to go in this one. Warriors have worked the shot clock down to 6. That's taken from behind. It's Matos. Matos one-on-one. Blocked by Whitaker. Out of bounds. Rochester ball. Great job of Whitaker to get back there and make a great defensive play, but Rochester will keep the ball. Wide open three, Mersheimer. Got it. Covington quick down the floor, trying to beat the pack, hanging, left it short. Taylor Covington was looking for a quick bucket, and a tying bucket it would have been. We'll see if Indiana Tech plays out this possession. Doesn't look like they're fouling, still just a one-possession game. They get a stop. They might be able to hold for the final shot. Matos, the runner, Too strong. Loose ball. Recovered by Thompson, and she puts it in. Jakara Thompson has stretched the lead out to 4. 26.3 to go. It's not over yet. But Indiana Tech is going to need a quick bucket and then probably a foul. And you can see there, Indiana Tech defensively was trying to play out that possession, get a stop, and have a chance to either hold for the final shot or work the game clock down to about 4 or 5 seconds, depending on when they would have gotten the stop. But the offensive rebound kept the play alive, and we'll go ahead and show that to you on our Summit City Sports replay. Matos went for the runner. Foy couldn't secure the board, and Thompson came in from behind to put it back. That's a big reason why Rochester has this 4-point lead, 64-60. Indiana Tech still with a chance to win this game, but they'll need a quick bucket and then either a turnover or a foul. Now you've got options, Indiana Tech does, of who can take this shot here. Kyra Whitaker has hit 4 threes in this game. 3-point shooting's never automatic, and even the best 3-point shooters don't make all their threes, but you know Whitaker can knock them down, and she has been able to tonight. Now Taylor Covington, I don't believe she's scored in the game tonight, but she has proven herself to be a very capable 3-point shooter. After the timeout that Jesse Biggs just called, the Warriors get to inbound the ball on the plus side of the court. Worm finds Covington. Will she be called on to take the shot here? They'll lob it inside. Decker makes the catch and draws the foul. Jakara Thompson pleading her case. Warriors are going to look to get some subs in. Corinne Smith and Dory Javins will enter the game as Genevieve Decker goes to the free throw line. 21.2 seconds left. Decker has had her struggles from the line today, but a big opportunity here. She's 5 for 9 from the charity stripe. But if she can make this next one, it'll be a 2-point game and still a lot of time left on the clock. Two for 2 goes Decker. And Rochester calls a timeout. It's a full timeout. Now I believe they'll have a chance to inbound on the plus side of the court. Won't have to worry about a 10-second violation. That's a smart decision there on the part of Brent Witchner, because if you inbound from the plus side of the court, you know Indiana Tech's going to bring some pressure and try to force the 10-second violation, but now that's off the table. Now there is still a chance of a 5-second violation. Indiana Tech will likely be pressuring the inbound hard here, and then if they don't get the steal, probably in 5 seconds, that's probably when the foul will have to come. Jesse Biggs right now, I'd say drawing up the play, but also trying to make sure her players know what to do in case of you go for the steal in the first 5 seconds and you don't get it, and also knowing when the foul has to come. Shot clock is a non-factor. Genevieve Decker just hit 2 clutch free throws, giving her team a chance to get back in this game, but they'll need to force a turnover or commit a foul. Put Rochester at the line. Matos long inbound, and now a 10-second violation could be in play. Oh, there's the foul in the backcourt. That is not what you want to do. Corinne Smith, she was running hard, and she was going for a turnover. I think that's what Corinne Smith had on her mind, but she makes the contact in the backcourt, and that is not where you want to commit the foul. It's the 4th team foul. The next one would put Rochester at the free throw line. You don't want to commit a foul there because you've got a chance to force a 10-second violation and get the ball back. Depending on where this next inbound goes, Warriors could still do that. And now Whitaker, she commits the foul in no time at all. A second after the inbound is when the foul occurred. Mersheimer will go to the line. Warriors will get some subs in. Erica Foy and Bethany Worm check back in. They've both got 4 fouls, and Jessie Biggs trying to manage that. As the home crowd gets loud with Matos at the free throw line here. And she hits the first one. Two for two. And I said Matos was actually Mersheimer who hit both those free throws. It's back to a 4-point lead for Rochester. Indiana Tech beat Rochester in last year's WAC Conference Finals. Rochester trying to return the favor in a game that's not nearly as high scoring. That one went up to 85-83. It's not over yet, though. Indiana Tech could get a quick bucket, and then they'd probably have to foul. 10-second violation could still be a factor, but that'll probably be with about 12 seconds total on the clock. So trying to get a 10-second violation in that case would be a big gamble. But Jessie Biggs trying to draw up the play, and if she's thinking three-pointers, she's got plenty of players who could take the three. Bethany Worm doesn't shoot it a lot, but she's shown an ability to make them when she does shoot them. We know Kyra Whitaker can knock them down. She's hit over 40% of her threes on the season. She's hit 4 threes tonight. Taylor Covington has hit over 40% of her threes on the season. She doesn't have one yet tonight, but a good player could get one at any moment. The Warriors will break huddle. The Rochester Warriors already have broken huddle. Covington fakes the pass, has it knocked out of bounds by Matos. Warriors catch a break. .4 to go. Covington finds Worm. They go inside to Foy, and Foy is fouled with 13.2 on the clock. Bryn Smith and Dory Javins will come back into the game. That foul was called on Crystal Rice, and she has fouled out of the game. She becomes the first to foul out. Fouls are starting to pile up for a few players in this game. Big free throws here for Erica Foy with 13.2 on the clock. One down, one to go. A breath of life for the Warriors. Two for two. Indiana Tech still in it. And looks like Brent Wichner's not going to call a timeout here. There's 12.8 on the game clock. Now, Indiana Tech could get a 10-second violation. However, they're probably going to look to foul here because even if they get the 10-second violation, it's only going to leave 3 seconds on the clock. The clock actually has been reset to 13.2. Mersheimer puts it in. And then Matos is fouled from behind by Whitaker. 12 seconds on the clock. That's the third foul on Whitaker. Worm and Foy come back into the game. Biggs was trying to keep him out because she didn't want either one of those two to commit their fifth personal. Mersheimer at the line. She was just at the line a moment ago. It's the first one here. One more, and she'll make this a two-possession game again. Rolls right off, and a timeout. Bethany Worm secured the rebound, and Jessie Biggs will call it. Full timeout, still a breath of hope for the Warriors. A three ball can tie the game. 11.4 seconds on the clock. Now the Warriors could go for a quick two, but if they do that, they'll likely be leaving 4 or 5 seconds on the clock. So my guess is they're going to look for a three, and they've got options as to who can take this shot. Kyra Whitaker's hit 4 threes today. Taylor Covington has not hit one today, but she shot it over 40% for the season. And yes, say what you will about the idea of a freshman taking a three in such a big moment. My guess is Taylor Covington's going to have a lot of big moments like this. So anybody can take the shot. Covington's capable of it, so is Whitaker. Bethany Worms hit some threes, but even if it does prove to be Covington, she's probably going to have a lot of big moments like this in the rest of her career. She is a freshman, but she's shown that she can hit the three. Kyra Whitaker has also shown throughout her career that she can hit a three. She's, by the way, the all-time leader in three-pointers made for Indiana Tech women's basketball. Covington, Worm, Foy, Decker, and Whitaker on the floor for Indiana Tech. Covington gets it in. We've got a foul away from the ball before the inbound. Oh my goodness. Celeste Mersheimer. Well, as legal as that is, if you're an Indiana Tech fan, you've got to be kicking yourself to see something like that. A foul before the ball was even inbounded. So now Genevieve Decker's going to the line, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here. There's 11.4 seconds on the clock. She doesn't necessarily have to miss one. She does get the first. She can make it a one-point game. There's still time on the clock, even if she makes it. She doesn't have to go for the miss, but Dory Javins in almost a sprinter stance in case she did, which she did not. And a foul is called shortly after the inbound. Ted Albert's walking by me. He's the head coach of the men's basketball team here at Indiana Tech, and he's going to take in the rest of this game. His men's basketball team is going to be here for the championship game tomorrow night. That foul is on Taylor Covington. It is her fourth. 2 free throws coming up. I believe this is Mersheimer. Check that. That's actually Matos. Alicia Matos at the free throw line as the crowd gets loud trying to distract her. She hits the first free throw. 10.3 on the clock. Matos goes 2 for 2. And Brent Wichner not going to use a timeout here. He'll have his team play it out defensively. And my guess is the one thing he would have told his girls, if anything, in this situation is, can you defend without fouling? Covington gets the inbound. Gets across the timeline. They'll need a 3 to tie. Covington finds Whitaker. Whitaker lets it fly. No good. Foy's got it. That's the ball game. Rochester comes into Schaefer and upsets the top-seeded Indiana Tech Warriors. Well, the season's not over for Indiana Tech. They'll get to host the first and second rounds of the NAIA playoffs, but looking for a 5th straight WAC conference title today, and they come up short. Rochester knocks them off in the end. Well, we're going to recognize 2 players as our Parkview Sports Medicine players of the game. They're going to be both from Rochester, Alicia Matos and Jakara Thompson. Thompson was the leading scorer. She scores 22 points in the game, and Matos adds 15, hits a couple of big free throws to help Rochester close it out. They defeat Indiana Tech 69-66. It's been a great season for Indiana Tech, and like I said, the season is not over. And, you know, the last possession, the Warriors did get the ball to the right person. Not that she's the only player who should be taking a shot in that case, but Kyra Whitaker, we know she's a capable three-point shooter. She's proven it all throughout the season. She's hit 4 threes tonight. So we're going to have the presentation of the championship trophy here at center court. It's going to be presented to the Rochester Warriors. Indiana Tech, and I can't stress it enough, it's a great season. And I also can't stress enough how great a contributor Kyra Whitaker has been to this team. WAC Conference Player of the Year, first team All-WAC. And also the all-time leader in three-pointers made for Indiana Tech basketball, Indiana Tech women's basketball, that is. Whitaker with a great career here at Indiana Tech. It's not over yet. Still got the NAIA tournament to come. But a chance at a 5th straight WAC conference title. And it was not to be. Indiana Tech does win the regular season title, but they won't get to capture the tournament title. They had won 4 straight conference tournament titles, but that's where the streak will end. And really, it was a hard-fought battle. You kind of expected this, especially since Rochester gave Indiana Tech such a battle last year in the championship game. Indiana Tech able to win that time, but not this time around. 69-66 your final. As the Rochester Warriors celebrate a WAC conference title, and Indiana Tech will prepare for the NAIA tournament beginning on March 7th. For my cameraman, Carson Watkins, this is Thad Goff saying so long from the Schaefer Center. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow night for men's basketball as Indiana Tech takes on Madonna for the men's basketball WAC Conference Championship. Until then, so long, everybody.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
You're busy. You expect to say no sometimes. But what you didn't expect was a chance to say yes to a college degree while keeping your life. Indiana Tech is now offering Chicago area students undergraduate and graduate degree opportunities taught online by experienced faculty who care. Learn more at Tech Enrollment Centers in Naperville or Wilmette.
I can turn this in early? Sure, whenever you're ready.
Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials that I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. Heat transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2. And he's one of the professors that teaches it. And he just really was a very kind and helpful guy, and he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings for Utang-Sioux and for Zollner that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at Super Value Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think, really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up. so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes. You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.